Okay, so this is a video to help with homework 4, problem number 3. Explanation. They give an explanation. Tensile test is an experiment that tells you how strong and flexible the material is. You were given some data for a tensile test performed in the materials lab. The experiment was performed on a piece of aluminum or a piece of cast iron. Dr. Kushnicki cannot remember which it was. The tensile test machine gives us a bunch of data points for the extension and load as it slowly pulls the specimen apart. We then consider the strength of the material. We are often interested in a quantity called stress and strain. In this test, stress is sigma equals the load F over A, and the strain is delta L over L, where F is the applied load and A is the cross-sectional area. Goes on to tell you that the cross-sectional area is 0.25 inches and the thickness is times 0.125 inches. That's the thickness and the width. Okay, so let's read the instructions. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to download an Excel file from Moodle called Excel. I'm going to assume that everybody knows how to do that and make sure that it's numerical values. As you can see here, I already have this in my directory. Okay. Second, write a script that reads the associated load data into a column vector called load. Okay, so my load data is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th column. And I notice that up here it starts at -10. Very interesting. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to do it in the command window because at this point it's whether you do it in the command window or you do it on the live, you're going to have to do it in the live script, but I'll do it in the command window and it'll be the same command. So load equals HW4EXCEL, and then I want all the rows and the 5th column, and I don't want to see it. The next thing I want to do is I want to get the calibrated load. In other words, I want the first load data to be 0. Okay, and I can look at the Excel file and see how that was done, what the formula was, but it basically is all this load data, okay, subtract out that first number and it will zero out the first term. So I'm going to call this calibrated load, and it's going to equal load minus the first term in load, and once again I don't want to see this. Then I need to know the area. Okay, so let's go back to the instructions. Then create a column, the values with the load, the Excel file. This means that the Matlab will, let me just say, then create a column vector of calibrated load data which sets the first load value to 0, which is what I just did accordingly. See the formulas in the Excel sheet, which you can just look at that if you want to, and you'll see the references. Then using Matlab function, use your program to calculate the maximum load and determine the ultimate strength. So that's what I'm going to do next. So let's do that. Okay, so I need to know the area, and that is 0.25 times 0.125, and I'm going to suppress the output because I don't want to know that. I don't want to see it. Although it's not a bad idea to not suppress it and look and make sure that it's right. Okay, and now I'm going to do the calculation, and I'm going to note that it's in KSIs, so I'm going to also divide by 1,000. So my term alt max load will equal my cal load divided by A divided by 1,000. And that's going to create another column with that alt max load. And I can pop that up and look at that, and I see that the first term is 0, the second term is 0.06, 0.6, 1.1, 1.6. Let's take a look and see if that's what was on that Excel sheet. 0, 0.1, 0.6, 1.1, 1.6. I'm cooking. I got it right. Okay. Now the last instruction in this is note, let's say finally, write 2 lines of code that saves the calibrated load and the ultimate stress only, these two to an Excel file named, I can actually do it in one line of code. Okay, so I'm going to do it in 1 line of code rather than 2 lines of code. So I have XLS write, and then the name of the file that they said was tensile underscore results dot XLSX, and then I need to put in those values. Okay, so I'm going to put in cal load and ULT max LOAD. Okay, now it's not going to work on my machine because I don't have XL. I'm on a Mac. I don't have XL, but it is still going to write the file. Okay, it's going to write the file to a CVS file, and lo and behold, when I pull that up, here I have my calibrated max load right here, and I have my variable, my max stress, ultimate max stress right over here, okay, in a CVS file, which I could have imported it back. I hope this helps you all out. I'm going to post it right now.